Okay, I'm going to be talking about this quite famous book, John Kellerman's Star Wars Vintage Guidebook, and this book's been out of publication for quite a while, and it's going for quite a lot of money on eBay now. Going for about in the UK, it's going for over £100, up maybe even up to £200. And there was meant to be a volume 2 coming out, but that hasn't happened, and so this book's become quite legendary amongst vintage collectors. And so I'm going to show you the whole book. I've done a talk about this book before, but this time I'm going to show you the whole book. So here you've got like prototype art for the actual design of the figures. Then you've got this chapter 2, card figure differences. So it's showing you like the blue and red snaggletooth there, everyone knows about that. The yak face, which was only released in Canada, also on Tri-Logo. The telescoping bend saber. Now it's showing you all the actual figures and the major variations. So you've got Luke with telescoping saber, Luke with brown hair, blonde hair, Han Solo big head, small head, and all the early release figures. So it's quite in chronological order. It's showing you first the Star Wars, now it's on to the Empire Strikes Back figures, and it's showing you the major figure variations. Not all of them though. It doesn't show you like the variations like with the Return of the Jedi figures like Kutu there. There's a grey limbed version, and then there's a tan limbed version. So, and like the General Medine, there's a grey haired version and a green haired version, and they're quite well known amongst vintage heads. And then the Power of the Force figures there. Then now it's going on to figures that are the same or different, and like the Biker Scout short mouth and long mouth, green limbed Chewbacca, the Han Solo trench coat with the camouflage lapel and the plain lapel. Here it's showing you all the different figures you can get on the same card. So you've got Luke on the Star Wars card, Empire card, Jedi card, Gunner card, plus the hair colour variations. R2-D2, Chewbacca with the first and second picture on the Return of the Jedi cards. C-3PO, original version, then the version with the limbs that are removable. Stormtrooper, Darth Vader there. You can see the second picture Darth Vader on Return of the Jedi there. Darth Vader with telescoping saber, which is really rare. What else can you see? A Stormtrooper on Power of the Force. Ben Kenobi with the grey hair and white hair. Han Solo small head and big head. They're quite major variations. The Jawa, the vinyl cape Jawa there, really rare. That's one of the holy grails of vintage collecting. Death Squad Commander, and his name changed on Empire Strikes Back to Star Destroyer Commander. So this book's just amazing. It focuses totally on Kenner cards, US cards, and only goes on to foreign use of Kenner cards. It doesn't really address Meccano, Palitoy and other foreign cards, which is a real shame, because then this book would be perfect. Boba Fett, you can see the two picture variations on Return of the Jedi. Princess Leia, early release, profile, then the front picture, T-neck and so on. IG-88, Bosk. So some of the figures you might get 2 or 3 variations, some you just get 1. Luke Skywalker Bespin, he has quite a few variations. Lando with teeth, no teeth. Empire and Jedi cards. Yoda has 2 picture variations, and then he has 3 snake versions: orange snake, green snake and brown snake. Dengar, Han Bespin, Lobot, Princess Leia Hoth, the Attack Drive on Power of the Force, that was only released in Australia and maybe Canada. Luke Hoth, Attack Commander, Cloud Car Pilot, Black Bespin Guard, Admiral Akbar, Luke Jedi. Luke Jedi comes with 2 major variations, that's the green saber and the blue saber. Luke on Power of the Force there, Jedi. Gamorrean Guard, he's another Australian release, Power of the Force. Tattoo, Biker Scout, Power of the Force. So this book, if you're into vintage Star Wars collecting, then this is just, you know, and you're a Kenner collector, then you're just in 7th heaven. That Nikto on Power of the Force is really rare. Han Solo on Power of the Force, trench coat, that's quite a rare one. And so you get all of these really nice illustrations, and the pages are really thick and quite heavy, so it's a top quality book. Original price for this book was $35 US, and if you go on eBay now, that Anakin Skywalker is really rare on Powder Force, rarer than the Yak Face, goes for a fortune. You've got all the Powder Force figures there, the ones that came with the coins. And now we're going to look at figures that are the same, all slight variations, like Luke with the brown hair and blonde hair, vinyl cape Jara, cloth cape Jara, Han small head, big head. Really rare on the Empire Strikes Back card, the Han small head. Darth Vader with telescoping saber, Princess Leia with turtleneck and crew neck, Luke Bespin with brown hair, all yellow hair, Lando with teeth, Yoda with different coloured snakes, Luke with the different coloured sabers, Death Squad Commander with the name change, Chewie with the 2 picture variations, Darth Vader with the 2 picture variations, Luke with the gunner card and the original picture, Ben Kenobi with the picture change, Han Solo with the picture change, and Boba Fett with the picture change. So those picture changes are all done with the Return of the Jedi. Picture differences on Luke Bespin, picture differences on Leia Bespin, and picture changes on Yoda. Now we've got Luke, different figure, different card, R2 different figure, different card, and R2 again with different figure, different cards. So Kellerman, John Kellerman, who I think's passed now, he's in this book he just categorised figures in such a way. That must be the Stormtrooper on 21 back. He's also made in these books these matrices, which you can find them on Rebel Scum, and they're really detailed, and they tell you which figure was available on what card. So the Han Solo, for example, was available on Star Wars 12 back, 21 back, 20 back, Empire Strikes Back, cards 30 back, and so on and so on and so on. And you have little dots to indicate that they were available. Then you've got card front back combinations. So say you've got 12 back, you've got a 12 back A, 12 back B, C and D. You got 21 back, you've got A, B and C as well, and so on and such. You've got a lot of 20 backs as well because of the Boba Fett offer. So you've got the Rocket Flying Boba Fett offer, which eventually was covered over. So these are all 20 backs. And then 21 backs, they're Star Wars cards. And then you've got on this page what front and back combinations exist and what differences are between a 20 back A and a 20 back C, for example. And then we're on to Empire Strikes Back, same thing. So you've got Empire Strikes Back 21 backs, which are pretty rare, then 30 backs, 31, you know, and they're just, there's the Revenge card offer on the 48 back. Then we go on to Return of the Jedi, starting with the 48 backs, 65 backs, 77 backs, 79 backs, US Kenner cards. And then all the different Power of the Force now, 92 back. Then this is the mail-in offer sticker. So it's very rare to get that on the Star Wars or Empire Strikes Back card, but they're placed quite common on Return of the Jedi cards. Then more matrices. So this book is like, if you're really into the detailed analysis of what figures are available and what card back combinations, you know, here's foreign use of Star Wars cards. You've got Japanese Takara, Singapore Fan Club, really rare, and here we've got Australian Toltoys card, really rare, Australian stuff. Then more Australian stuff, I do believe. They're very similar to Kenner cards, with just maybe a sticker over it. I think these ones are Palatoy cards with, I mean US cards with Palatoy stickers on it. Here's the Japanese Takara, and those were for Star Wars. And then they moved on to, on Return of the Jedi, it was Sakuda who released the figures. And all they did was take a US Kenner card and put a sticker on the back of it. Here we've got Dutch Clipper stickers on US Kenner cards. So you've got the Boba Fett offer in Dutch and French, I think. And then we've got the Dutch clipper offer for a free mail away figure and a wraparound sticker at the front. They're pretty common. They also did those on Palatoy cards as well. So there's a clipper sticker there on a US card, and there's a little mail away coupon on the back of the cards that you could okay, here you got the 12 back what's that, early bird set, sorry. So early birds was a US offer, so we never got that in the UK. So you could get the first 4 figures mail away. Very famous offer, early bird set. And then these are, what are these? Just mail aways, so you get a single figure and a little catalogue as well. So you've got so much information in this book. You've got all the coins, the 62 coins. Really hard to assemble that set. Some of the figures, Power of the Force figures, came with the coins, but a lot of them you had to mail away. That's why it's really hard to assemble the full set. Multi-packs, these are another US exclusive. I think Canada did the same as well. So you got the Star Wars 3 packs. These go for a fortune now. And then these ones have got a special offer as well. So these ones with the special offer are even more costly and even more rare. What is the special offer? I'm not sure. I think it was maybe an action display at the back you got with the figures. So these are the Empire Strikes Back ones. These are even rarer than the Star Wars ones, I do believe. And then you've got the 6 packs there, Empire Strikes Back. They're not quite as rare, these 2 sets there. And then on Return of the Jedi, at the end of the line, they just sold 2 figures on generic cards. Here's some European figures. They've just been stapled onto one large card. So that's an Italian one there, a German one there, Parker, very rare. And then I think this one's German as well at the top. That's a mixture of Kenner and Tri-Logo cards. Here we've got our multi-pack boxes. So these would come from somewhere like Sears in the US, and you could just buy 3 figures or 4 figures in a box. The blue and Snaggletooth there. These are the figures in the Kenner baggies, so even the bags that the figures come in are quite different, and you can really go into great detail about what different bags you can get. People do collect these. So then there's miscellaneous figures and related items. So here we've got play sets that came with figures. So you've got the Sears Cantina play set, which came with the blue Snaggletooth, the US Death Star, which came with the Dianuga creature. These are other play sets that have stickers on them which show that they came with figures. The Revo Band play set, the Jabba the Hutt set, the mini rigs. These ones are only in this book because they've got a special offer and they come with those figures there, which makes these incredibly rare and worth about 10 times the price of just the mini rig by itself in a box. We've got vehicles there, the Snowspeeder with the same sort of special offer. The X-Wing there comes with Luke and Han. The TIE with Vader and the Stormtrooper. Trim Pokala with Bespin Guard, it looks like. Then you've got the creatures, you've got the Hoth Romper, the Dewback, the Rancor, the Tauntaun. These are all in US Kenner boxes, because they also came in European boxes as well, especially by Palatoy. These are action figure cases. The Darth Vader one's quite famous, and the one next to it comes with 3 figures. That Empire Strikes Back one there is really rare, I do believe. I guess. And then we've got pre-production items. So now we're going on to like looking at early designs of the cards, and we've got the sort of concept art for what the cards would look like before the original 12 backs were released. So you've got the double racetrack there. Now we've got chromolins and cutouts of the actual cards. So we've got Revenge there, Return of the Jedi. People collect them, they're really, really expensive. I'm not sure what all of those are. I think these are, what are they, samples or something. And we've got the Star Wars 12-back cards. Really, 12-backs are like probably the most prized amongst collectors because they were the first and they look the best. We've got Empire Strikes Back cards there. We've got Revenge of the Jedi cards there. They're quite famous. The proof cards. I mean, if you're going to collect any of the proof cards, the Revenge of the Jedi ones are probably the most obtainable. And then there's Return of the Jedi proof cards. And more proof cards. Wow. So this book's just a wealth of information, and it's very visual, so it's very appealing to the eye. And that's why I think it's just gone, it's got such a legend amongst vintage heads that's why they're willing to fork out £100 minimum for this book on the secondary market. Now you've got Powder Force there, then you've got more matrices. Now we're moving on to pre-production figures, so you've got early concepts of Boba Fett with the rocket firing feature. And these figures are so rare. Then we've got sign-off cards, so these are from the factory with comments about the product. Then we've got the coins there and more bits and bobs, and we've got actual packaging, pre-production packaging, so you've got the Cloud City playset there. Then we've got more, and it shows you how the colours were put together. So I think these are called chromolins. Now we've got displays, so these are the sort of displays you'd find in the actual toy stores to help promote the items. These are highly collectible as well and are really expensive as well. So these are for the early Star Wars, so those are like boxes to put the figures in, display boxes. Empire Strikes Back stuff now. So you've got the whole history of Star Wars Kenner products with Empire Strikes Back, Return of Jedi, so you can see the new wiring there. Then you've got shelf talkers and little posters and all the sort of paraphernalia that was associated with the Kenner Star Wars line. And these are all highly collectible, and he's even got maybe production images. There's two really nice Empire Strikes Back ones. Promotional items. So this sort of stuff would be like the mini catalogues you'd get with the inside the box vehicles and mail away figures. These are highly collectible as well. And then you get stuff, that poster's really famous, so you've got the figures around the birthday cake. Do you dare recreate the adventure? Then you've got competition promo stuff, sweepstakes at the time of Return of the Jedi. Then he goes on to about grading. So a low grade would be a C1, a mid grade C5, C10, and then it doesn't really touch AFA grading or UKG grading, but it talks about, and here he's talking about fakes and how easy it is to fake a vinyl Cape Jawa. There's the index. Keep watching because I've got a few images of the sample pages from the second version of the book, which isn't going to come out. There's the original price, $35 US. I got this in the UK for about maybe £30 at Forbidden Planet, and now I'm giving it thumbs up saying it's really good. And now these images here are taken from their sample pages from the second edition of this book, which isn't coming out, which is a real shame. So now he's got the 12-inch figures, the vehicles included now, and was going to be a chapter on tri-logos, because tri-logos was sold in the US as well. Then the droids, so these figures were all available. There in the top corner is the Boba Fett, that's a really rare one. Then these are hard copies of the figures, so these are incredibly rare. Then artwork for the actual card backs, so you've got Leia, Bespin, Bosk, Forlom, Ozokus and 21B. You've got the Boba Fett there. There's the only known carded example of a rocket flying Boba Fett. Then these are 12-inch figures that only made it as far as production samples. Powder Force cards that didn't make it. Rare droids figures, only Vlix made it, and that's on a Brazilian card, really rare, very expensive. And these Ewoks figures, they too were never released. Okay, bye. That's it. Cheers.